Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy Errant playthrough. See, the Twitch should be going live for you right now, Michael. Do you see it?
Yeah.
So today we invited my brother from another mother, Michael Saunders, to help us out. Tim is asleep right now, so I'm going to jump into the game. Can you see it, Michael?
I'm working on it.
Should have popped up for you now.
There we go.
All right, Michael, you want to introduce yourself and tell us how you feel about Final Fantasy in general?
My name is Michael, and I'm 21 years old.
Lives in his mother's basement.
Yep. And about Final Fantasy, from the games I've played, I really enjoyed it. I like the series.
What Final Fantasies have you played?
I played 3, 4, a little bit of 7, and 7 Crisis Core, and I think that's it.
You haven't played my favorite ones, which are, well, you said you played 4. 4 is my all-time favorite.
I like 4.
Crisis Core, I can't remember Crisis Core. What's Crisis Core like? Jog my memory.
What's his name? So that one goes with like.
Wait, is it for the PlayStation? Is it for the PSP?
Yeah, that's the one.
And is it the guy, the red guy, with the cloak and stuff, that shoots guns?
No, it's with one of the soldiers. It's
Zach?
Yeah, Zach.
Oh, I don't think I've played that one.
Yeah.
The one I played was like a gun one, I think. Maybe, no, I think I did play that one. That one's the one that's fun. There's one that's like really, really fun and really, really popular. It's probably that one.
Yeah.
That's an ugly looking troll, dude. But you still haven't played Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh, you need to play that one, Michael. Have you even seen it at all?
I've seen it. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos about it. But,
And it hasn't made you want to play it.
it has. Can't afford it right now.
Whatever. So, where are you in the playthrough of? You're playing all of the Kingdom Hearts, right? Or the main Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, I'm playing all of them. For me, it's like the all-in-one pack. And right now I'm just on 2, Final Mix. Because I'm planning on like getting all the trophies and like all the achievements in the game, so it's taking me a little longer.
Did you get all the trophies and achievements of the first one?
Yeah. And
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And you're playing it on PlayStation, right? So does it give you? Did you get a? What's the final trophy you get?
The platinum trophy.
You got the platinum on it?
Yeah, I got both of them.
Wow, that's impressive. See, I don't usually like to play games like that, where you get everything, but I did on Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's the first time I've ever got a platinum trophy. That's how much that game. I love that game, Michael. I like played it so bad. I was sad. I was like, I don't want it to end. And then I went into like depression the month after, and I was like, they better come out with a remake soon. And then I finally accepted that it wasn't going to come out the next month.
Yeah. From what I've heard, like that remake, that's like only like a third of the original story, right?
Yeah, at most.
Yeah.
They haven't decided how many they're going to do. Or if they have, they're not telling anybody.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I'm hoping it comes out this year, though. There's a possibility it will. Because some of the other sequels, like 10-2 or what? Well, I don't think it was 10. I think it was 13 or whatever. 13. the one that had 3 sequels to just its Final Fantasy. I think it was 13. It came out with sequels like a year later. So I'm hoping they do the same.
Yeah, that would be cool. So 7 came out this year or last year?
Came out last April. I know because I'm going to start clearing it every year. So in a month, I'm probably going to play it again too.
Nice.
It's an awesome game, Michael. You'll love it. I promise. If you like 7 at all, you'll love Final Fantasy 7 Remake. And most people love 7. I didn't love 7. I thought it was pretty fun. But it definitely was. My problem with 7 was I grew up playing Final Fantasy. And I played Final Fantasy 2. I cleared it like, I don't know. Must have been like 10 times before I went on my mission. And I also played... I loved 6. So when we were young, when you were just... I mean, you weren't even born at this time. I played... when I played those Final Fantasies... Like it was on the Nintendo, and they were called Final Fantasy 1, or not 1, but 2 and 3. I was like 16 when 3 came out. And Final Fantasy 3, which is 6. Have you even played that one?
3?
It's 6. It's Final Fantasy 6 is what it's called now.
No, I don't think I have.
It's the one with the opera scene. If you know what I'm talking about, then you've played it. If you don't, then you haven't.
I've never played it.
Oh man, you got to play that one. Usually people like that one the most if they're old school like me. Final Fantasy 6 is awesome. I just love Final Fantasy 4 because it's more nostalgic. But
Yeah. Did you ever play like what's it called? Like, kind of like the sequel to the 4? Like it kind of goes along with. Like,
no, I haven't. I know what you're talking about though. Yeah, there's a 4. Oh, what do they call it? It's called like, I don't know. But yeah, I started playing a little bit of it. I've never cleared it though. I need to. It was decently fun. I mean, it was nothing like 4. But yeah, did you play it?
The After Years. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, the After Years.
I've played a little bit of it. Don't remember much though. I just remember you can pick. There's like, you can go through like all those different stories of the different.
Yeah, and see, I don't like that as much. I liked it being more story driven instead of like, oh, this is what this character is doing. It's like they're kids, right?
Yeah.
Kids from the main characters from 4.
Yeah.
So like I said, I still have it. I just haven't gotten into it. It's hard for me to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a boss battle. Hey, there's the first crystal or orb. Who speaks to me? It's the voice in your head. This must be the Earth Fiend. Yep. Lich. Okay, so you've never played Final Fantasy 1 then?
No.
Let's see if my Diara spell works on him. Let's see, what would Earth be weak against?
Water.
Yeah, we don't have water though.
Is there ice?
Yeah, there's ice. I was going to try that, but I'll try lightning first.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good graphic for him though. So this is like sort of like a remake of Final Fantasy 1. So the original one didn't look like this. And my other friend who does this Twitch stream with me, he likes to do commentary. He thinks that this Final Fantasy, his name is Tim, he thinks the Final Fantasy 1, the old school one, is way harder, which is true. And he thinks anybody who plays this new one is a weak amateur. Which I don't agree with. I mean, this Final Fantasy, like if you were to play it, it's got its own toughness. Like it's about on par with other Final Fantasies that you would play nowadays. No, it is the old school one is harder to a certain extent, but only because you just have to like grind through stuff because it's just like they didn't make them like they used to back then or
Yeah.
like they do now. So yeah, would I recommend you play it? Probably not, unless you're looking, unless you like really want to challenge yourself, or you have the kind of patience. Which, if you're clearing Kingdom Hearts, you might have the patience to be able to do it.
Or getting those characters to level 99 is a struggle.
Yeah. Now, I really liked Kingdom Hearts, the first one. I loved the first one. The second one I could never really get into, but I think I cleared it.
That's what I thought too. Because this is like my second time playing it. And so like the first time was kind of like boring. I didn't really get into it too much. But like now I'm playing it, like I understand like how to play it better, and so it's
Yeah,
more.
like in the I remember when I played through the first one, I hardly ever used magic. It was basically just
I never used magic. Maxed out my attack and just comboed away.
yeah. So the second one sort of forced you to learn stuff. And you know what? Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's the same way. Like if you play it on normal or easy mode, especially on easy mode. Hold on. Let's see what this cutscene does. Wait, did I just? Oh, so I put my crystal into that crystal. So there's some kind of crystal fusion going on. Yay! Yay! Looks like I restored the Earth. Oh, now that guy's... Something's happening. Now, it destroyed the magical phantom statue that was blocking that door. Now if I can just remember where that door was. Yay! What happens if I stand in the circle? Hopefully it teleports me out of the cave. Which it does! Yay. So yeah, as I was saying, Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can play through it and do the same thing where it's all physical attacks mostly.
Yeah.
But if you play it through hard mode, it really forces you to like learn, especially when you're fighting the Hell House.
Hell.
Yeah, there's this level called the Hell House. Oh, don't worry, you'll learn about it, Michael. It sucks.
Did you play the game on like the highest difficulty?
Yeah, you have to get the platinum.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh.
So, but Kingdom Hearts, hold on, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do on these guys. Kingdom Hearts, so it has, does it have 3 or 4? I can't remember. Well, it has like the spin-offs like for the mobile and all that jazz, right?
Yeah, so there's like that one mobile game, and then there's like some other games that they used to be on other platforms, like the DS, PSP. But yeah, the three. So there's like 1, 2, and 3. Those are like the whole number games, and then there's like the other games that like try to explain those games, like the 0.2 Birth by Sleep.
Yeah, what's going on with that? All I know is I played through, so the one with like Monsters Incorporated, that's the newest one, right?
That's 3.
Yeah, that's 3. So I have it. I haven't cleared it. I sort of, it's sort of fun, but I don't know. It's just not the same as 1 for me. Mostly because it's like crazy. It talks about all these like storylines that I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. That's what Kingdom Hearts is like famous for.
And I love Final Fantasy. Like I know a lot of Final Fantasy, but most of the Final Fantasy characters in that like are the newer ones, and I'm not as familiar. So yeah. Like who?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who they are, because the other thing about Final Fantasy is in a lot of them you can change their names, And so the playthroughs, I don't even know what their original names are.
Is Final Fantasy like? Is the whole series like a complete story, or is it
No.
like
Nope.
it's
They're all standalone. There are a few characters like Sid that are in all of them, but even when they're in all of them, they're always, well, I don't know if he's in all of them, but he's in at least most of them. But even then, they're like completely new characters just with the same name, or they're similar, but they don't have, it's not like part of a series.
yeah? Huh. So like even if you like did like a whole playthrough, like
Yeah, like I'm doing Final Fantasy 1 through 10, but they're not connected.
okay,
The thing about Final Fantasies though is like the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 were all like this one. They're all in a fantasy setting. You don't get the first one to break from that was Final Fantasy 7. And Final Fantasy 7 when it came out, I think you were born, weren't you?
when did it come out?
I don't know. I'd have to Google it, but I'm pretty sure you were born. But you would have been like a little baby or something. So,
Well, it came out 2 years before I was born.
oh, did it?
97.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Because I wasn't. When I came to Taiwan, you were like, I don't know, you were a baby basically. I mean, even a bigger baby than you are now, Michael. But yeah, it was the first. It was huge. Like it basically sold the PlayStation, the original PlayStation. In fact, I think without Final Fantasy VII, the PlayStation might not have ever like became big. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But so it came out and it was huge and everyone loved it. But I think it was for a lot of people, it was the first time they ever played a Final Fantasy. Like, which one was the first one you ever played?
I think it is 7.
Yeah, most people, first time they played Final Fantasy was probably 7 of your generation, not Generation X, but your generation. Let me see where the heck was that stupid cave I'm supposed to go to? No, it was further down here somewhere. Or no, I think it was this guy right here. I'll go up and check it out. Oh, I can't. I gotta sail around. So yeah, and it broke from the other Final Fantasies because it wasn't like it wasn't in a traditional fantasy setting with like knights and mages, and it was like sci-fi or modern day. And it wasn't. I don't know. I guess it's steampunk, but it's really not. I don't even think I would consider Final Fantasy VII steampunk.
Steampunk? What does that mean?
So steampunk is basically like magical steam, where you've got like steam engines and airships, things that run off from steam and magic.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy VII was a little bit more into the cyberpunk realm, and cyberpunk is just like sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Do I really need to sleep? Didn't I just sleep in the end? Yeah, my magic is maxed out, so I'm good. Although this is the cheapest inn in the whole world. Oh, and I need to talk to the dancing girl, because she tells me what to do. Nope, she's not telling me what to do, so I'm on my own. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII came out, and I remember it came out when I was on my mission. And I don't remember anything because I was a good missionary. I didn't look at that kind of crap. So when I got off my mission, I remember seeing the graphics, and it was the first Final Fantasy that was 3D. And so it was pretty exciting just because of that. And I was excited for it because I thought it would just be like like the traditional Final Fantasies. But no, yeah. The other thing is like, as you know, because you just got off your mission. By the way, Michael got off his mission from in Germany. Say something in Germany or in German.
Guten Tag.
I think that just means hi, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like, good day.
Good day. Okay. Say Final Fantasy in German. Come on, Michael.
How would they say it?
You should look it up. In Chinese, it's 天空战士, right? Which is like 天空 is like sky, 战士 is like war. What shi is it? Warrior or something?
Yeah.
Is 战士 warrior?
Warrior. Mm-hmm.
So sky warrior. Okay, here we go. We found the Earth Kit Shrine, and now everybody's free, so...
Yeah, I mean, they just call it Final Fantasy there, too.
They don't have it translated. The stink went away! His stink went away. He finally decided to wipe. Oh, I'm going in. He said the stink went in. So let's go into the stink. So yeah, anyways, what were we talking about? So yeah, Final Fantasy VII was the first. So I got off my mission, and you know how when you get... Oh wait, there's got to be a secret here. Is this where you get the airship? I don't think so. Do I have to play the loot? No, it won't let me do anything. So when you get off your mission, you're still like sort of in that mindset, right? Mm-hmm. And so I got off my mission. It was like I remember my friends were so excited. They're like, "Here, we're loaning you our Super Nintendo, or no, our PlayStation, and you got to play this game. It's the most awesome game ever." So I was like, "Okay," and I was excited to play it, but I was still, missionary shock. And for those who don't know, when you're a missionary, you basically like preach the gospel 24/7. When you're not asleep, you're preaching the gospel, right? So a bit of a, and I've been in California, so a little culture shock, but I was like, okay, looking forward to it. So I started playing Final Fantasy VII, and one thing I'm not used to playing video games at all. Like, did it take you a while to get back into video games when you got off your mission, Michael?
Yeah, I didn't really play much. Besides, like, what my brother wanted to play.
Yeah. So, yeah, I started playing it, and then I'm like, "What is this? This is not the Final Fantasy that I'm used to." But it was still cool enough that I played it. And the other thing is like Final Fantasy is definitely like Final Fantasy VII is definitely like a punk type game. Because you got, like, Tifa, and she's got, like, her short black skirt and giant, And so when you're straight off your mission, like, that kind of thing sort of comes as a little bit of a culture shock.
Yeah, sure.
So it was just one culture shock after another for me playing Final Fantasy VII. And so I cleared it, and, of course, spoiler alert, when the ultimate video game death of all time happens, like it shocked me too. Like I wasn't prepared for that in a Final Fantasy. I mean, 6 does get a little bit darker. It like explores things like suicide and stuff like that, but still nothing like when Errant died, or Aerith. When Aerith died. You've cleared it, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay, so no spoiler alert for you. I am lost in this desert. What time is it? Okay. So I have no memory of this place, as Gandalf would say.
Can you change like their what's it called? Oh, I guess it's like their base stats, like I guess can you change like a warrior to like a mage in this one?
No, so what happens is you start out as a certain character. Okay, I'm lost in this desert. I've gone down, or you can choose in the beginning what kind of character you want. You can choose all 4 of them.
Yeah.
Because these are the 4 heroes of light or whatever. So you choose which all 4 of them are. And then later on they sort of like can upgrade to a higher class, but you can't change like a warrior to a mage or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I think the warrior like becomes a fighter or something, and the thief becomes a ninja and stuff like that.
Okay.
And these guys don't have names either. They're just the 4 warriors of light.
And then you get to name them.
Yeah, you can give them a name, but they never like mention your name in the dialogue or anything, outside of calling you the warriors of light. Yeah, it's not really heavy on background story either. Like, you have 0 background. You're just these 4 warriors that showed up with crystals. The warriors of the prophecy. Ah, here it is, the Oasis. This looks promising. So yeah, that was my experience with Final Fantasy 7. So fast forward, like, how many years was it since 7 came out? It was almost like 20 before the new one came out. Yeah, because you were just barely born, so it would have been about 20 years. Which is another thing. On 7 Remake, they're like, oh yeah, we're making a lot of progress. It's not going to be nearly as long as a wait as as Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Well, I hope not. It was freaking 20 years.
Yeah, I was watching this video the other day too that like they talked about them teasing like the game in like 2007 or 8.
Yeah, I remember that. And we like lost our minds. We were like, oh my gosh. Like, and now the graphics, I mean, back then those graphics were amazing. Right now they're like nothing to shake a stick at, but yeah, and people are like losing their minds. And then nothing for another like, it must have been like 10 years or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully they did a lot of things like in between these like 10 years so they can come out with a new one faster.
Yeah, well, they better come out with it next year. I'm going to be mad. We're going to rebel.
They just tease another one and we'll have to wait another 10 years.
We're going to go like to the Capitol and protest or something. Yeah, they better. So I don't even know why I'm going down this desert place. It's just like the door opened. Well, I guess we got to explore it. I guess we're the warriors of light. Now we figured out that we have to get all of our crystals back in, or crystal shards back into the crystals or whatever. Yeah, in the original Final Fantasy 1, they didn't even have crystals. They just had, well, they had orbs is what they called them, which could be crystals, but yeah.
What did they do?
I don't. You just put them in the. Well, I guess they sort of like. So the Earth crystal, like it healed the Earth because the Earth was like poisoned or something.
Oh.
So yeah, they teased it, and then the Final Fantasy remake. And I tried to play, like, they came out with some computer versions and different versions of Final Fantasy VII, the original. And I tried to play it, but I could just never get, like, it became dated fairly quickly, especially with newer Final Fantasies, like 8 and 9 came out, and 10, and
Yeah.
and if you go back to that one, it was, for me at least, it was, I didn't really have the nostalgia like people do, because I was older when I picked it up, and yeah, so it was hard for me. I never cleared it after that first time that I can remember.
Yeah.
So, this is where I gotta go down here to get treasure. So yeah, how old were you when you first played it?
I have to be around like 10 or 10.
Okay, so you're pretty young. You played it on PlayStation?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm surprised.
I did it again on like the phone.
Vampire. Maybe I got some new weapons. Nope. I just got some weird thing. It's probably a key item. Nope. The heck is a vampire thing? Vampire thing. Oh, okay. It's one of, so these items I have never I rarely ever use like these things that you throw at people, like paralyzes a foe. I've rarely ever used any of these in a Final Fantasy game before.
Does this game have like the, I guess it's like items that you can throw like a magic attack with?
Yeah, like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It looks like it does, but I've never used those. Do you use those?
Sometimes when I'm out of like magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't really use like the effects ones, but like attack ones, yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, this is the first Final Fantasy that we were talking about it, that I ever used the sleep effect. Because you'll notice in this Final Fantasy, there's tons of it. Like, in normally a Final Fantasy, you'll have maybe 1 enemy, 2 enemies, 3 enemies, maybe 4 at the most.
Yeah.
Hey, we made it to a new town, I think. Or is this a fight? Oh, it looks like it's a fight. So, yeah, I'm going to have to end the stream early tonight because we have a family activity that has come up. So, any famous last words, Michael?
I'll play remake soon.
Yeah, we've mostly talked about Remake and Kingdom Hearts.
But did you play on? Do you have a PlayStation or a PlayStation Pro?
Mine's a 4 Pro. You just have a regular?
I have the Pro too, so I was just wondering about the graphics.
I don't think there's a difference, is there?
If it's like Pro enhanced, then there should be.
Oh. Well, I know that the graphics are pretty amazing, though, for Final Fantasy and just a game in general. I know that a lot of people have complained about some of the graphic things. Like, I guess there's a few, like, glitches or something. But I didn't notice any of that crap, so I think you'll like it. All right, well, you should join us for more streams, Michael. I play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, I take off. Saturday, I take off. Sunday, we usually play for 2 hours. And then the week starts again. So you're welcome to join us. All right, see you guys for our next episode. Sorry we had to end this one sooner. Hopefully this one's higher quality than the last one. It doesn't look like we had frame drops like we did in the last one. So, all right, see you guys later.
Bye.